Je vois rien.
Faut que t'avances plus près. Alors tu te vois.
In Pescia, Italy in the 17th century, young Benedetta Carlini was enrolled as a nun by her parents in a convent headed by Sister Felicita.
Leur ennemi, c'est ton corps. Il vaut mieux ne pas te sentir trop bien dedans.
18 years later, when Benedetta played the Virgin Mary in her play, she had a vision of Jesus calling her.
Benedetta, tes pieds! Qu'est-ce que tu faisais avec tes pieds?
J'ai vu Jésus.
One day, a young peasant girl named Bartholomea seeks protection from her abusive father in a convent.
Aidez-moi.
Je suis le père de cette fille. Elle m'appartient.
Laissez-moi rester ici.
Benedetta is tasked to guide Bartholomea's integration into convent life. As Bartolomea cleans herself, Benedetta starts to feel the attraction towards the peasant girl. She tries so hard not to entertain such feelings, for she knows she should not feel that way. But that night, Bartolomea kisses Benedetta as a way of being grateful for taking care of her.
Père, je crois que Sœur Bartholoméa attend que je lui montre l'exemple, mais je ne suis pas digne de l'instruire.
As Benedetta begins having recurring visions of Jesus, after Benedetta sees a particularly harrowing vision of a man she believes to be Jesus saving her from a gang rape, she falls seriously ill the next day she woke up. Sister Felicita orders Bartolomea to take care of Benedetta and attends to whatever she needs.
Bartholoméa était la seule qui se soit portée volontaire pour cette tâche. J'espère qu'il y a quelque chose de providentiel dans ce choix.
Benedetta sees another vision in which Christ asks her to take off her clothes and touch his hands. Bartolomea quickly attends to Benedetta upon hearing her cry and saw blood on Benedetta's palm. The next morning, Benedetta wakes up with stigmata on her palms and feet.
Les stigmates!
An investigation will be conducted of such event. Sister Felicita is not totally buying what just happened, because Benedetta's stigmata become visible while she sleeps rather than during prayer.
Saint François était en prière quand il a reçu les stigmates. Catherine de Sienne aussi. Aucun des deux ne dormait.
And the traces of the crown of thorns disappear from her forehead. Benedetta collapses in front of Felicita's room. A bleeding wound then appeared on her forehead, and she began speaking in an angry male voice to denounce those who doubted her. Sister Christina, Felicita's daughter, found pottery shards near her, which makes her suspect that Benedetta inflicted the wound herself.
Un miracle qui vient d'apprendre.
An argument between Felicita and local church leaders over how to handle public interest in Benedetta's vision, they ended up appointing Benedetta to replace Sister Felicita. Benedetta and Bartolomeo move into Felicita's old room and begin a sexual relationship. During confession, Christina lies to the priest that she saw Benedetta with a scar on her forehead. The next day, the priest forces Christina to make her public accusation. When Felicita is interrogated by the priest, she dismisses Christina's claims, as Christina admits that she did not think the wound was self-inflicted before. The priest believes Benedetta is clearly possessed by the Spirit of Jesus, and she orders Christina to flog her. Felicita then observes Benedetta and Bartolomeo making out through a peephole in the room. Feeling humiliated, Christina jumps to her death from the roof of the convent. When the plague began to ravage the country, Benedetta had a vision that Pescia would be saved and ordered the monastery to close to prevent infection. Felicita secretly travels to Florence to report Benedetta's sexual indiscretions to the local papal nuncio.
Accusations extraordinaires exigent des preuves extraordinaires.
Je n'ai dit que la vérité. Vous pouvez douter de mes motivations.
Meanwhile, Benedetta suddenly dies from an unknown illness. Shortly after Felicita returned to the convent with the Pope, Benedetta woke up again and said that she was in heaven and had seen the fate of everyone present. The legation on behalf of the Pope begins a judicial investigation into Benedetta's actions.
J'ai vu cette fille dans des étreintes charnelles avec la mère supérieure Benedetta.
Bartolomea initially denies her sexual relationship with Benedetta, but after being tortured by the Pope's men, she finally confesses her truth and arrested Benedetta.
J'aurais dit que tu m'avais trompée.
She again spoke in a male voice, lashing out at those who persecuted her, and announced that the Pope would soon fall ill. The Pope learned that Felicita had the plague and ordered her to keep her condition a secret. Then Bartolomea is expelled from the monastery. In the town square before her execution, Benedetta reveals her new stigmata and a male voice announces that the angel of death is approaching. Felicita reveals her illness and blames the Pope for bringing the plague to Pescia. The town people prevent Benedetta from being burned at the stake and chaos started. Bartolomea frees Benedetta and discovers bloody pottery shards at her feet. The Pope is killed by an angry mob, then Benedetta and Bartolomea flee the city, and Felicita is set ablaze by the fire lit for Benedetta's execution. After spending the night with Bartolomea in an abandoned stable outside the city, Benedetta insists that she must return to the convent.
Tu retournes là-bas, ils auront vite fait de te remettre sur le bûcher. Et ils ne me brûleront pas.
Bartolomea begs her to stay and tries to get her to admit that she forged her stigmata, but Benedetta refuses and she returns to Pescia, leaving Bartolomea. Benedetta lived in her convent until her death aged 70, and Pescia was spared from the plague.
Want more queer content? Then please subscribe and hit the notification bell.